Hi everyone, Leanne here from Jada Blossom, and it is day 2 of our December 2024 release. And I have a project. Hey, so I'm using Jada Blossom's brand new Winter Embellishment Cluster Dies, their new Penguin Kisses stamp set, the new Street Lamp Winter add-ons, the new Winter Sparkle Stencil, our Snowman dies, Jada Blossom's Heart Dies 2, their Border Dies 2, their Street Lamp dies, and their Winter Wishes revamped stamp set. I know that's a lot, right? Now, I did create this background on the Jada Blossom release and review. There it is. And you can check that out. I used Nouveau Glitter, Nouveau Glitter Paste in, Moonstone. And I also put together that lamppost on the new assembly video for that, the Street Lamp Dies Winter add-on, so check that out. So first of all, I have a piece of Papertronic white cardstock cut at 4.25 by 11, scored at 5.5 inches to make an HU-sized card. Next, I'm adding on my little, the little Winter Sparkle background. That was done on Stardream Metallic Aqua cardstock, and that is cut at 4 by 5.25 inches, so 1/4 inch border all the way around. On the inside, I'm going to add a strip of paper, and I'm using my ATG tape. Oops, and I kind of went over a bit. There we go. And this paper is from the Let It Snow 6-inch pad from Doodlebug. It had little snowmen on it, so I figured you can't go wrong with that, right? And I'm going to cut off the overhang with a pair of scissors. Everyone knows that I like to kind of echo on the inside what's going on the outside. So next I've got this super cute little snowman, and that is from the Let It Snow matching odds and ends from Doodlebug. So I'm going to add that little snowman to the right-hand side. There we go. And I'll trim off any overhang with a pair of scissors. I'm pulling out my secure white jelly. Oh, sorry. No, I didn't. I'm going to stamp a sentiment first from that Winter Wishes revamped stamp set. I'm using a Misty Corner. And I'm going to add 2 sentiments to the inside. There we go. And then I'm using that same Misty Corner to kind of line up my next sentiment. So that the next one will say Merry Christmas, but the first one is like Snowflake Kisses, I think, and Winter Wishes or something like that. Hold on a second. I'll tell you once I stamp it. So I'm just sort of getting it lined up. These misty corners are kind of handy. As long as your stamp is flat on the bottom, you can do this. You know, make sure it's nice and straight. There we go. And I'm using my VersaFine Claire Nocturne ink, and I'll stamp the sentiment. There we go. And it says Snowflake Kisses and Winter Wishes. Merry Christmas, right? Super cute. Now I'm pulling out my black glaze pen from Sakura, and I'm going to just, emphasize the eyes. You see makes them have a bit of a shine, and the buttons. It does take a while to dry, so remember that. It almost gives it a little bit of dimension as well. And then I'm pulling out the Secure White Jelly Roll pen in a number 10, and I'm going to add a few little highlights to this guy. Trying not to smear anything as well as I can. And there we go. So I put that off to the side to dry. Okay, so next I'm just going to put these little lampposts together. I'm just adding the top of this new one. That's the street lamppost winter add-ons. And I'm adding it to the original street lamp dies. Remember, there's an assembly video for that, so check that out. Next, I am going to be using Jada Blossom Snowman dies, and I'm putting together 2 little snowmen cut out of Papertronic white cardstock. And then this one is using paper from the from the Doodlebug Tinsel Time 6-inch pad. So I'm just adding on a little scarf and then a little toque. Adding it with my Barely Art glue. There we go. And then we will add the little headband portion of it and the pom-pom. These are really simple to put together, and I think they're super cute, you know, to use in your card making. Really easy and fun. There we go. So there's one snowman. Now this next one I am using, I believe this is Doodlebug's Let It Snow 6-inch pad. And I'm just going to add on some pattern paper. Remember, you don't have to use exactly what I use. Use whatever is current or what you have in your collection. Doodlebug has made many wonderful Christmas paper packs that you might have some golden oldies in your stash just like I do, and keep using them. So next I'm going to add my little pom-pom on, and isn't that cute? I just think it's so adorable. There we go. And next I am going to layer up. This is the smallest heart from the Heart Dies 2. And I cut it out of paper tray ink, white cardstock, and then pattern paper from that Let It Snow 6-inch pad from Doodlebug. Okay, so next I cut out some paper tray ink, white cardstock, and I used the Jaded Blossom Border Dies 2. And I cut out two little hills. They are both 4 inches wide, so they will line up at the bottom of that background. And I'm just trying to stick them down with some ATG tape, just so it's got a little bit of something, a little dimension, right? And then we will stick that to the bottom of that background. There we go. And we will put it in place. Remember, on the background, I used Distress Oxide ink and Tumbled Glass first, and then I used the Nuvo glitter gel in Moonstone over top of it. Okay, so next I am going to put together, I'm adding some layers, to the back of this street lamp die, because it's going to be overhanging all those snow hill layers. So I just didn't want it to dip too much, so I cut out a couple of these tops of the lamppost a couple of times from the street lamp dies. And then I cut out the center of the post a couple of times as well. And I'm just going to add them on with a little bit of Barely Art glue again. And then that way, it gives it a little bit of dimension without having to use, pop dots or anything like that, or foam squares. So I'm just adding those on, and I cut it out twice. There we go. And then I will add that onto my card front. It's going to overlap those two hills, right? And I will add that to my card base with some Barely Art glue. So for that lamppost, I used American Crafts black cardstock, Paper Tray Ink white cardstock, Simon Says Stamp white glitter cardstock, a Copic marker in Y35, and BG 000 for the icicles. So there we go. So next I'm going to stamp a little sentiment using my Misty. There we go. And this one says Feeling Frosty, because I thought that would be fun. And I'm just trying to make sure it's straight. And I'm going to stamp that in VersaFine Claire Nocturne ink right onto those snowdrifts. There we are. Just trying to make sure I've got a good image. I'm going to end up stamping it twice and not pressing too hard so I flatten out the lettering. So there we go. So next we are going to get these little snowmen in place. I'm using some ATG tape to get them stuck down. So my big snowman will be on the lower right. And then I'm going to pop my little one in the center. There we go. Slightly overlapping the lamppost a bit. And there we go. So cute, right? I'm going to grab a couple of dimensionals to put behind the hats, just because, there is quite a drop off there. And then that way everything stays nice and flat. And, you know, we'll get it all in place. Although it's not like I can mail my Christmas cards this year. I live in Canada, and our mail system, Canada Post, is on strike. And they're doing it at Christmas time, which is lovely. So I will not be mailing my Christmas cards this year because even if they get back to work at this point, it'll be so late. There'll be so many, there'll be such a back buildup of packages and lettering. I wouldn't count on it getting out on time anyway. So, okay. So next I'm adding on the little stick arms. These were cut from dark chocolate cardstock from Paper Tray Ink. And I'm just kind of tucking them in, so they sort of fit behind the scarves and things like that. There we go. And just holding that in place to make sure it's stuck down. And for this guy, I'm going to have this guy's arm kind of pointing down like it's holding something. Just going to pull up this other scarf and stick those in place. There we go. Super cute. Okay, so next I decided to grab the fancy heart die, and I'm using a pure poppy cardstock from Paper Tray Ink, and I'm using one of the hearts cut from that. I keep the leftover in the bag, so this was actually in the bag, so I didn't actually have to do any die cutting. And I'm going to have it sort of like the snowman's holding that heart in his hand, which is kind of fun. Okay, so next we are going to pop up the little heart above the two snowmen. There we go. And so cute. Now I'm pulling out Doodlebugs and Eye for an Eye. These are these little black enamel dots. First, I'm going to add on the little carrot noses cut from Orange Zest cardstock from Paper Tray Ink. There we go. And then I'll use those enamel dots that I just talked about. And I'm using the smallest ones for the eyes. And isn't that cute? Super fun and easy. There, I'm going to add 2 to each. And then I'm going to add some buttons as well. I'm going to use the large ones. And I'm going to put 3 buttons on each little snowman, because why not, right? Isn't that the traditional snowman has 3, something like that? So there we go, adorable. Now I'm pulling out some EK Success chalk, and of course, like a snowman's gonna have, blushing cheeks, right? But I'm going to, I always say ink blend, chalk blend some little cheeks on. And there we go. And I'm pulling out a Secure White Jelly Roll pen and a number 10 to add some highlights, some little freckles to the cheeks as well. And a highlight to the little carrot nose, because why not, right? And there we go. Isn't that cute? Now, I'm going to use Jada Blossom's brand new Winter Embellishment Cluster Dies. And I'm using the little snowflakes. And these are cut out of Simon Says Stamp white glitter cardstock. And I'm just going to add them down. Now, if you missed anything if I didn't mention something that I used, remember, linked under this video is my blog post. And everything is listed under the recipe that I use. So if I miss something, it's always listed in there. So I'm just adding on those little snowflakes, adding a little bit more glitter to that background. Super fun. The background itself has a nice little glimmer, eh? That Stardream Metallic cardstock is beautiful. So there we go. So thank you so much for stopping by. Be sure to hop on over to the Jada Blossom blog, Be Inspired by the Team, the Jada Blossom store, to get your hands on these amazing products. And thank you as always for watching my videos. I really appreciate it. See you soon. Bye, everybody.